Cool, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We've got some artificial lighting happening here during load shedding, but we made it. Got Rito Hlungwani and Andre-Hugo Venter. Rito, this week we've got some of the Springboks back. Plus, we had some players come back in that Sharks week as well. So, how's that integration been?
No, it's been good. Yeah, I was very happy to have the Springboks back. Happy to have all the players back. The integration's been good. Boys are training well. Looking forward to the challenge that lays ahead.
Yeah, we're kind of at the halfway mark of the season. We're looking at the second half of the season, and we've got quite a lot of players back from injury. It must be giving you guys some selection headaches, but also some nice problems to have.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. It is tough at the same time, to be leaving out certain guys. There's lots of positions are highly competitive. But yeah, like I said, it's a good problem to have, and we, as the coaches, at the end of the day, we want to select the guys that we think will do the job this weekend. One
of those positions, I think, is probably hooker. The man next to you's been showing what he can do this season and maybe putting some pressure. What do you think Hugo's done right this season?
Yeah, it's interesting. You asked me a question, he's sitting in your chair, so I can't lie. No, Fennis has been working really hard and he's been patient about it. So we've got quite happy with his progress. He's become more consistent, with his general play. He's become more consistent with his throwing, with his scrumming. It comes with experience. He's been having a lot of game time and he's just getting better and better. And we just look forward to seeing him improve even more.
Dennis, from your side, the game time, do you think it gives you confidence? Do you feel like you're getting the opportunity to improve?
Definitely I do. But at the end of the day, I'm happy with playing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes. It doesn't really matter. As long as I can go into the field, try to make a difference. But at the end of the day, the competition at hooker is really tough. So you need to perform, otherwise, what's coming the next week. So.
Cool, yeah. We're kind of heading into, I know we'll have a break after this game, but we're heading into a very important part of the season. How do you feel that the whole squad is coming together? We spoke about the competition for places and that sort of thing. How's the kind of vibe within the squad?
To be honest, the vibe of the Stormers in general, the last few years is amazing. The way guys interact with each other, it's not just based on training, it's on and off the field. So I think we get along with each other quite well. And that carries over onto the field. If you can sit with a guy and talk with him off the field, then on the field you'll fight for him and you'll go into darker places.
Nice one. Okay, guys, if you've got questions, please raise your hands.
Andre-Hugo, the last time I saw you in person, I think it was about 2016, 17, and your dad was in Cape Town to do the jersey handover for the Springboks. I can't remember which team they were playing, but yeah, I mean, to see you now at the Stormers, pushing with starting bursts, you were in the Springbok alignment group as well. Yeah, just a quick snapshot for us, please, of how that journey has been with your dad as having been a former player and now you playing URC rugby.
To be honest, it's mostly thanks to the team and the coaches for giving me the chance to play at the end of the day, and then there's pressure on me to play well and so on. But with regards to my dad, he hasn't put any pressure on me with regards to rugby, actually. All the pressure from his side is more on the academic side. So for me personally, just really privileged to have been spotted by the coaching staff a few years ago at Marty's and being able to get the chance to play and represent the union, as it's a proud and special union. And as you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but most of the guys really don't want to leave this place. So, yeah.
Just in terms of that, it's great that he's pushing your academics. Firstly, how's that going? And then secondly, carrying the Venter name, it could be a positive and negative in some respect, depending on how you, as a child, handles that situation. How's it been for you growing up and now in your career?
With respect to the academics, hopefully I'm finishing next year. Then I can lay off a bit of that and just focus on my rugby. But to be honest, luckily I'm not playing flank. So with regards to pressure from that side, it's not really you can't compare the two positions. So to be honest, I think I'm in a right space. So there's not a lot of pressure on me for carrying the Venter name.
Just one more from me, Andre-Hugo. In terms of Saturday's game, the Bulls, they've also got two guys in their Springbok alignment camp, and a guy like Akil van der Merwe who's missed out and maybe will have a point to prove. How do you see that front row battle going, and just particularly in terms of the hookers?
To be honest, the way we scrum, we don't focus on individuals at all. So for me, it's going to be really important to just focus on my job and focusing on our way of scrumming. So I don't think there's going to be too much of a funny things going on with the hooker battle. But at the end of the day, you still want to prove a point. So yeah.
Andre, just in terms of obviously there's a lot of emotion, I think, probably on the Bull side. Obviously this whole losing streak against you guys has become an issue. One can clearly see it also in the media and so on. How much a role do you expect emotion to play in terms of their onslaught, and how do you counter that kind of emotion?
To be honest, the past is the past. So every game you need to pitch up and you have to be at your best. If you look at the North-South derby, it's probably the biggest fixture in provincial rugby in South Africa. So at the end of the day, there's always going to be emotions, no matter what the losing or the winning streaks are. That doesn't really carry over into the next game. So for us, it's just going to be at the end of the day to be at our best, not to get involved in too much emotion. It's at the end of the day, it's another game that we have to fight, and then we have to do our best. So yeah.
And just from experience, how tough is it at Loftus?
It's always tough going to Loftus. I mean, it's a different circumstance. Altitude has always played a role, but the crowd is always up for it, and hopefully we will see some Stormers fans in the crowd that will help us on and to push us forward as well.
Yeah, that is quite an interesting point, because if you look up at Loftus a little bit, I think you see a lot of striped jerseys there in the crowd. Is that also part of the experience of the guys at Loftus, that surprisingly there is actually also a lot of support for Stormers and Province there?
Look, you probably have to ask them that question, but for us it just plays a massive role, seeing our fans there in the crowd as well, and it helps you go onto the field and try and do this, perform for them at the end of the day, and to put a smile on their face, so they can go home with joy and with pride.
And Andre, what are you studying?
I'm studying BCom Management Accounting at Martis.
Okay, cool. So it must be quite tough. I mean, to balance that with your rugby.
A little bit, but I'm doing okay. I'm studying half year. So what I've been doing since second year, I've been splitting my modules in half. So I take half of the yearly modules in 1 year and then follow up the second year, and then I try to finish. Yeah, so hopefully next year.
And how do you feel about this significant step forward that you've taken in your rugby? I think we're seeing more of you in the ball in hand, and probably you're physically maturing as well. I mean, how do you feel about the step forward that you've taken and the reward that you've gotten at national level?
To be honest with you, it's really humbling, and I'm honored to be selected for that group, but you're only as good as your last game, so it doesn't really matter what happened. I'm really privileged to be selected for that group, but it's only going to be how can I say, really rewarding if you keep playing well and trying to do your best. At the end of the day, like I said, I just want to go onto the field and try to make a difference for the team, so that we can end the game with smiles, and I can be proud of my performance and the team's performance.
Always a great pleasure and honor, Michael. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello.
Andre-Hugo, good afternoon, coach. Andre, it seems like you're the talk of the town at the moment. I'm going to try and do this in Afrikaans. En jammer dat ek seker vir aan Afrikaans moet herhaal. Andre-Hugo, kan ek jou vra? Die algemene vraag is, hoe is jou gemoed, hoe is jou gevoel sover, sedert jy nou opgeroep is na die alignment-kamp? Hoe het jou denkwyse verander sedert die na jy call-up, meneer?
Ek gaan ook sommer in Afrikaans antwoord. Nee, om eerlik te wees, my denkwyse het glad nie verander nie. Soos ek gesê, die fokus is op die naweek. Ons sien nou die kamp is nou hierdie weekie. Wat vir ons belangrik is nou die naweek en die wedstryd wat voor lê. Op die einde van die dag, soos ek sê, ja, laas nou 2 weke terug was die fokus op die Sharks. So ons vat dit maar week vir week en my gemoed bly maar dieselfde. Wil net aanhou perform. Ja.
En die laaste vraag is, ek weet as enige speler probeer julle voete ver op die grond, jy probeer nederig bly, maar wat moet 'n besonderse voorreg wees natuurlik om vir die nasionale diens soort van opgeroep te word, hoewel dit 'n alignment camp sover is.
Ek gaan nie ook, dit is 'n ongelooflike gevoel gewees. Dit is 'n gevoel van blydskap en so aan, maar met dit kom ook verantwoordelikhede van 'n ou kan nie nou gaan terugsit en gelukkig wees en dan sit nou maar alles verby nie. Dit is nou maar eintlik eers wanneer die meeste van die harde werk eintlik gaan nou maar begin. Soos ek sê, vir my is my fokus is op die naweek en ek wil hierdie wedstryd op 'n goeie noot eindig voordat ons dan weer terugkom vir ons volgende wedstryd 2 weke daarna.
Dan my laaste vraagie dan net, so gepraat van hierdie naweek se taak wat voor lê. Wat presies is die verwagting hierdie naweek, soos my kollegas voorheen genoem het? Daar's reël wat emosies daar bo in Pretoria oor wat in die verlede gebeur het. Jy het gepraat van die verlede, dit bly in die verlede. Wat verwag julle hierdie naweek daar in Pretoria mee?
Kyk, om eerlik te wees, die Bulle speel 'n ongelooflike goeie wedstryd, brein van rugby die laaste ruk. So ek dink vir ons om fisies op te daag vir die veral vir ons voorry en vir die pak om fisies op te daag vir die wedstryd gaan ongelooflik belangrik wees. Soos ons weet, die Bulle is het 'n goeie track record sover in die JRC en ek dink op die einde van die dag gaan ons maar net met daar wees en meer, hoe sal mense dit sê? Physically opdaag vir die wedstryd. Dit is 'n noord en suid en die Bulle weet ons, dis hulle brein van rugby. So ja.
Hi everyone. Andre, I actually want to add to what you've just talked about. If you guys are physically overpowering them, that would take their lethal back three a little bit out of the game. Obviously, you know, it's something that you guys would look at to close them down, and it all starts in the front. Am I right?
Yeah, I think in any game you go into, you want to physically win the battle. I think that's how South African teams play. So to be honest, they're going to try and do the same thing to us. So the focus is going to be on pitching up on Saturday and at the end of the day, giving our best. And then at the end of the day, we're a team that's not going to go die after 20 minutes. So we'll keep on fighting no matter what's on the scoreboard or what the other teams are doing.
And then just the last one, adding the mixture of all the Springboks in both sides that we'll see on Saturday, that must bring a whole new level of energy to the game.
I totally agree. I think the brand of rugby that's going to be played on Saturday is going to be incredible. And for me, especially being able to play with those guys and playing against those guys, it's an honor and a privilege that I really enjoy. So I'm really looking forward to the weekend and what lies ahead. Yeah.
Hi, Andre-Hugo, just for you, just back to the Springbok alignment camp, and it must actually be quite nice for you to be able to do this journey with Jan Hendrik Wessels. You guys have come a long way from school days, and this weekend you might actually play against each other in the same position in the North-South derby.
Yeah, me and Hendrik played together from under, I'm going to grade 5. So what's that? 11, yeah, 11 or 12. So we've come a long way together. He's moved a few positions. I've moved from flank to hooker. If you look back in matric, we played together at Lucid and hooker, and as well as at SA schools and junior box. So we're actually good friends. But at the end of the day, when going onto the field between the 4 lines, you don't really have friends in the other team. So there's always that battle, but it's never unprofessional with any pushing and shoving. It's you want to prove your point and you want to prove you're better than the other one. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yes, Mikey. Rito, I just wanted to ask you, did the Stormers ever tire of beating the Bulls? I mean, it's been 7 in a row, and just to keep that motivation going and that burning desire to get one of your great rivals, how do you get that right?
Look, I mean, it's the winning streak that everyone talks about is not something that we discuss, to be honest. That's for social media. For us, what the focus is on now is just, the job at hand, to go to Loftus and perform as well as we can. Yeah, so that's definitely the main focus at the moment.
Have you noticed anything different from the Bulls pack this season, particularly since your game in December? They're still the top SA team, third on the log, and scored the most tries and most points, and all these lists they're topping. But you guys still always find a way to get past them.
Yeah, look, we are well aware that we're playing a very strong team. I think third, they're above us on the log. They've probably got the most players invited to the alignment camp. They've got a lot of Springboks, highly experienced coaching staff, Springbok coaches. Greg White's coach won the World Cup. Gary Gould's coached the Springboks. Very experienced group of individuals, experienced team. It's going to be tough. We're not taking them lightly. We're giving them all the respect they deserve. And yeah, we're just going there to perform as well as we can.
Just lastly from me, Rito, what has been your major work on since your last game? Especially now you're going to have quite a few Springboks back as well in the pack and in the back line. But yeah, from the Sharks games, what do you think you guys can still do better this weekend?
Yeah, just get our cohesion right. That's continuous improvement. That's something we want to continuously improve, just, finding each other better. Yeah, so that's the one thing we've been working hard, just the level of cohesion between the different positions, between the forwards and backs, all the mini units.
Rito, are all your Springboks, Frans Malherbe included, available for this weekend?
Yeah, everyone's available for selection.
Cool. So that's a tough one at tight head, isn't it? I mean, because Nietas has been carrying a huge workload, and France, I guess, is coming in cold. So it's a difficult one in terms of the deciding who starts and who's on the bench, I suppose.
Yeah, I think Fenas might have said it earlier. The level of competition in our team is quite pleasing. So it's really nice to have Franz Beck, highly experienced, probably one of the best tight heads in the world. So that will definitely just improve our environment. It will push Nietas to improve even more. And, whether he starts or whether he's on the bench, he will have a role to play, and so will Netling. I must also say that, we've also got a few youngsters back from injury, Sazi, Lee Marvin. So it's been a fight at training, for everyone to prove themselves. But, having Franz back is a big boost, and it's sort of lifted the players to train even better.
Yeah, we mentioned at the competition, and I guess another place where it's really apparent is at lock. We always joke about the head boy and the bad boy combination of Andre and Ruben, but I guess you've now got the head boy back with Salman. So how do you tackle that one? Because I guess Salman is your campaign captain, but you probably also want to maintain some sort of continuity. So is that a difficult one for you to tackle?
Yeah, it's tough. It's very tough, Stephen, because Ruben and Andre have been doing really well. But we also know, you know, the level and standards that someone brings to the table. So it's similar to the tight heads, you know, so having someone back has just sort of risen the temperature a bit more. And hopefully that will help us get a little bit more from Andre and Ruben, and also get him to, you know, chase hard to get his position back. So we're quite happy with him being back, but it has created a very good problem for us.
And then Rito, just I think a couple of areas where you guys caught the Bulls out in the DHL stadium was scrums and high balls. So do you think that there will be a great awareness among the Bulls, specifically in those areas, to sort of come hard at you guys?
Yeah, look, I think, you know, just like on our side, all the small things, or whether it's big things that, you know, both teams felt they didn't do as well, or they were found slightly wanting, they would have worked hard to improve. You know, the same with the Bulls, they would have tried to improve that. There's certain things which we felt, you know, they outgunned us or did better than us. We've worked really hard on that. And that's the nature of sports, competitive sports. You know, you want to sort of improve your weaknesses. You want to get better. And at the same time, while you're getting better, you want to find other weaknesses that your opponents might have. So yeah, we'd be naive to think that we're going to get exactly the same thing as before. And maybe from their side as well. But, you know, it's going to be a tough game. You know, they'll be better, and probably all aspects we're looking to improve. So it will be a massive challenge.
Obviously, after the tour, sorry, you guys were in a position where you kind of had to take the low road, and you guys have been making great work of it. You know, it's like it's been a grind, but you guys are succeeding. So, do you think has it been very tough for you, and what do you think has been, you know, the sort of ingredient to be that one score ahead of the opponents that you've had? And do you think you guys could possibly, you know, step it up to another level, maybe find your groove a bit, you know, that typical Stormer style?
Yeah, look, Stephen, we definitely want to continue to improve. You know, we have these dreams and ambitions to be better, to play, you know, at the highest level. We want to play the best brand we can play. So that's something we consistently looking to improve. And I think just to answer, you know, that question with one statement, the adversities, the mistakes that we've made, the losses, you know, we found some good lessons in those, and that sort of helped us keep moving forward and, you know, grinding out these small victories, you know, and the one thing we spoke about is that we need to continuously find that improvement, even when we're winning, you know, that same energy and hunger and desperation we felt when we came back on tour. You know, we need to maintain and keep that desperation, even though, you know, we've had a couple of wins. So that desperation is extremely important for us to still find the small things that we can improve, even though we're winning games.
Andre, how big is the whole 8-pointer scenario and the South African Shield in the guys' minds? Obviously, you know, the Bulls are, I think, 5 points ahead of you guys at the moment, which does make it that kind of 8-pointer. And is the South African Shield also very important to the guys?
Look, at the end of the day, for us, every match is important, especially going into the final half of the season. Like Rito said, we want to continuously improve and fight. So for us, at the end of the day, going into the match, just being better than we were at the previous game, and building on the things that we spoke about in the week and the things we said we wanted to focus on and improve. If we can improve those things, when we come back next week, we'll find new things for us that we can look at and that we really need to work on. So for us, every match is the most important match. So after this week, in 2 weeks' time, that will be the most important match we have this season. So, like I said, just improving those small things that we pointed out those in the week that we need to target.